This was supposed to be a fun birthday surprise. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it really was. My dad had given my mom tickets to see the Savannah Bananas in Memphis for her birthday. She was so excited. The plan was for her to go with my aunt and uncle, who also love baseball. But when my uncle's flight home was delayed, my dad looked at me and said, "Why don't you go?" I hesitated at first, but I knew how much this meant to my mom, so I said yes. We parked in a garage near the ballpark that was supposed to provide easier disabled access to the event. But once we got downstairs and outside, we realized something pretty quickly. The accessible route was not accessible. Because of added security for the game, sidewalks and entrances had been blocked off with fencing. But there was no clear accessible path around it. There were no ramps where we needed them. Some curb cuts were blocked by parked cars, and people using walkers, wheelchairs, scooters, or other mobility devices were basically left to figure it out on their own. That meant trying to move safely through car traffic, around fencing, and across areas that were never designed for that kind of access. At one point, a very kind man helped my mom push part of the fencing back just enough so I could keep my walker on the sidewalk and stay out of the street. It was hard. It was exhausting. My mom was sweating, struggling, and even fell a couple of times while trying to move the barriers. What should have been a simple walk into the stadium turned into a physically demanding and unsafe quarter-mile challenge. And then, when we finally reached the main entrance, it was blocked too. We were told to cross the street, go up onto another sidewalk, walk even farther away from the entrance, and then turn around and come back in from another direction. At that point, my mom stopped and asked for help. We were exhausted. My hands were numb, my hips were giving out, and we still had curbs to navigate without proper ramp access. That is when Justin Pierce, one of the head coordinators at Redbird Stadium, stepped in, and I have to say, he was truly a blessing. He listened. He understood the problem, and he made sure we got safely up to our group suite. The game itself was wonderful. The experience getting there was not. After the game, Justin and his team came back to make sure we could leave through the original accessible entrance and get back to our car safely, and that mattered. His kindness and leadership turned a frustrating and painful experience into one where we felt seen and helped. But I also have to mention the parking garage. It took us nearly 2 hours just to drive from the 4th floor to the street. There were no staff members helping, and the only phone number available kept disconnecting people. That part of the experience needs serious attention. So here is my takeaway. The Savannah Bananas event was fun, memorable, and full of energy, but accessibility cannot be an afterthought. When sidewalks, ramps, and entrances are blocked, it is not just inconvenient. It creates real safety risks for people with mobility challenges and for the families trying to help them. Justin Pierce and the Redbird Stadium team members who stepped up deserve to be commended. And whoever planned those barriers should take this as a reminder. Accessibility is not optional. It needs to be planned, protected, and communicated clearly before people arrive.